Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a very special night and party celebration.
Gentiles do air.
Run!
And this follows weeks of Black Lives Matter protests in the city of Richmond, clashes of police with these protesters. As you see, the pedestal remains graffitied at this time. It's unclear exactly what's going to happen to the pedestal, but right now, hundreds of people, I would argue, remain in this area watching, waiting for the removal, complete removal of the Stonewall Jackson statue that have been watching for well more than, I think, 5 hours now. Guys, back to you.
All right, Brendan, thank you. And now our Cameron Thompson joins us. He's also been there at the Stonewall Jackson statue all day.
He joins us from a different side of the monument, though. Cameron, how are things where you're positioned?
Well, right now we're standing in front of the flatbed truck that is getting ready to take the Stonewall Jackson statue from the intersection where it has stood for decades. And I don't know how well you might be able to see right now, but the sheriff's deputies that are standing around have just pushed the crowd back a little bit as they might be getting ready to lift this thing up again. As Brendan mentioned, they had tilted it over onto its side just a few minutes ago and are readjusting the straps to lift it onto this flatbed truck here. And just a few dozen people left remaining after several dozen were surrounding the statue for hours in anticipation of its removal from the stone pedestal bearing his name. And of course, when that moment was about to arrive, of course, there was a huge thunderstorm that was rolling through at the same time, just drenching everyone here that was watching, but did not dampen their spirits any bit when that statue was lifted from the pedestal. A huge cheer erupting from this crowd. Leading up to it, there was one woman who had come out with her cello who had intended to play Lift Every Voice and Sing. When the statue was lifted, of course, had to move because of the rain. And earlier we spoke with one woman named Sage who was out with her family, and she said when she heard that the statue was starting to come down, she broke off to come watch, and because she did not want to miss what was happening.
I wanted to see this, so it's a big part of history, and I brought my children, my little toddlers, to the Robert E. Lee statue a few weeks ago and took some pictures of them. I feel like it's good. I want them to see it when they're older as a part of like their history, the history that they lived through, stuff like that. So I'm really happy to be a part of it.
And of course, as they are getting ready to finish removing the Stonewall Jackson statue, the question is which one is next, because in the news release from Mayor LeVar Stoney about the removal of Stonewall Jackson, he had ordered the removal of multiple Confederate monuments in the city. That leaves Maury further down the street. There's also Jeb Stewart and the A.P. Hill statue, so we'll have to see if crews start working on those later today when they finish with Jackson, or if they wait for another day to take those ones down. Working for you in Richmond, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.
And that's how it goes down with Third Eye Cam. I just wanted to get this since I just literally got off work. Yeah. So we'll see what else happens. More.
And he has the authority to remove the statues. He says he is Richmond's Director of Emergency Management, and he has the right to remove the statues if he sees them as a threat to public safety. Stoney says recent protests prove the statues are a threat to public safety.
Virginia and the city's emergency operations plan specifically authorized me as mayor to protect the health and safety of persons and property. I urge everyone to allow our team of crane operators to complete the removals safely. I will be working with council over the coming weeks to outline an inclusive public process through which we, as a community, can determine the ultimate fate of these statues. Until then, they will be kept in storage. The second reason I act today is because it is past time. As the capital city of Virginia, we have needed to turn this page for decades. And today, we will.
The Monument Avenue Commission says the Stonewall Jackson Monument has stood in Richmond since 1919. We're told the sculptor worked to portray both the horse and Jackson as motionless, calm, and focused. When it was unveiled, Jackson's family was driven to the ceremony, and Robert E. Lee's grandson spoke and pulled the ropes. Thomas Stonewall Jackson was considered one of the South's most successful generals during the Civil War in the 1860s.
And remember, all of our complete coverage is also on our website at WTVR.com, and you can also keep it in the palm of your hands by downloading the CBS 6 app.
And that's how it goes down with this statue removal. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go when I do have time to go see exactly, you know, when a few of the other ones come down. If they come down on the weekends, because that's the only time I'm off. I'll make sure I'm there, and we'll cover the history. The reason I'm showing this to y'all, I'm just showing you all, and not in celebration. So don't get it twisted. Just showing you a part of history that's happening right here in Virginia, south of Richmond, about 30 minutes, in a black historical city / town named Petersburg. But other than that, just keep them on point with the movement. Third Eye Cam, poof.
This is a Smedley crane company that we have done a little research on. We found out that they drove in from Connecticut for this job. Of course, July 1 was the day that localities could actually take over and take control of their statues. But I can tell you that the Richmonders who have come out here to watch this whole process are not letting up. Much of the crowds have gone away, especially during the heavy downpours. But I do see some families who are perhaps getting off of work, who have been watching this live on Facebook or on CBS 6 throughout the day. They're coming out to see this for themselves. And so, hey, can I ask you a quick question? Do you know how much longer you think this is going to happen?
Shouldn't be much longer.
Much longer? Okay. All right. Well, we'll stay on the scene here and try to give you an update. I know I plan to be here until the statue is removed fully from Monument Avenue, guys. An eerie feeling when you know a thunderstorm is approaching. We first felt the winds, the heavy winds, and then the downpours and the thunder and the lightning. But I can tell you, I did not see one single person leave Monument Avenue or Arthur Ashe Boulevard. In fact, when the monument was finally lifted off the pedestal, there's a Methodist church that sits right here, First Baptist. Forgive me, I think I've been calling it a Methodist church. It says First Baptist Church, and they had been ringing the bells to I guess alert the area that this is coming. We spoke to the man who actually rang the bells and said that it was a joyous occasion for him to finally ring the bells for this. It wasn't of course the hour, the top of the hour, but it was a moment to be watching this in the pouring down rain, and what people have told me that they wanted to see it for their own eyes, that it was they were watching history, and it's something that they can tell their grandkids.
Yes, as we've been saying all evening, a historic evening in Richmond. Thank you so much for your hard work, Brendan. You've been out there for hours. As crews were working to remove the monument, a very large crowd gathered, as we've mentioned.